And welcome back to the Blamegirl podcast with
Mr. Terry Wayne.
And we got Jessica Smith in the house. Welcome, Jessica.
What's up?
How was your weekend?
Busy. Just, working, doing stuff. I didn't do any comedy this weekend, just Thursday night when I saw you.
Thursday. Oh, okay. Yeah. We went to Blueprint.
Yeah.
Did you do anything fun this weekend or you just worked? You said you were busy.
I worked. Yeah, I didn't really school's about to start with the kids and I just have a ton of things going on. So nothing fun over here. I'm boring. Just picking up dog shit.
Sometimes those weekends are nice, uneventful weekends. Terry, how was your weekend?
My weekend was great. I did a bunch of cooking, and for which you are now the beneficiary of. Everybody knows if I'm making something, Gio already has her hand in the pot before I'm even done. That's fine. No, I like fans.
He's offering it.
I like fans. I like having fans.
He knows I like it, but he offers it.
Yeah.
I'm not like, Terry, feed me.
She is.
I'm not like Tiny Tim.
Please, may I have some more?
I'm not.
That's Oliver Twist. But but no, that's my happy place.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's my meditation.
Well, that's nice. That's nice. You had a good weekend. I can't wait to taste the food. I couldn't taste the food because I had a good weekend. Thanks for asking.
Nobody
cares.
I care.
I know
you're the first.
You want to know how my weekend was?
Our running joke is now dead.
Thank you, Jess. Jess, my weekend was fun. Very crazy Friday. You didn't even talk about Friday.
I thought I'd let you have it. I just did the cooking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I missed the show and I'm sad I did. I'm
sorry. I did my first roast, you guys, on Friday at Swampgrass Willie's, one of my my home space, and we roasted Jordan Garnett, who was on our show a few weeks ago. When I was kind of in and out because I was in Austin. But we roasted him and it was a super fun night. Jordan to be missed. Did you think it was fun? What did you think about the roast?
I think I got mentioned more than I should have, considering I wasn't on it. But
I didn't mention you.
I know. But my ex-fiance was on it, so I get why I got mentioned. No, it was a good time.
Yeah.
I think Fat Chops did an incredible job. I think Jackie did a good job. Even though to me that was a little cutesy for a roast.
Yeah.
You didn't really go after. But Fat Chops was hysterically funny.
Fat Chops was killed it. But I think the girls were more light with it. Mine weren't that bad. I wasn't that mean. I didn't rip into anyone.
That's very common for a roast, actually. The last comic down here that I saw that was female that actually did a roast and went for the jugular like you're supposed to was Jackie Barron, who is now out of comedy but lives in New York and has a husband and a baby and everything's great for her.
But she was good at it?
She was incredibly good at it.
Man.
Yeah, no, she was very good at it. The roast of Will Watkins particularly comes back to where she did such a good job.
Wow.
In both delivering jokes and receiving them.
Yeah.
Because roasts aren't for everybody. They're just not. They're not, you have to have a certain disposition. But I think Fat Chops had the set of the night. He fucking killed.
I can't disagree.
Killed it.
What was your favorite joke of the night?
Actually, I'm going to give that one to Chris Rowe, who also did well, especially since he was the first roaster. When he turned back to Eric Rosenblum and said, I don't want to roast Eric. He's Jewish. His people have been roasted enough, haven't they?
Oh, you love
and I was like, oh, that's brilliant. That's one of those jokes where
of course
I heard it.
Tell that joke.
Well, I heard it and I was like, damn, I wish I'd have thought of that shit.
Yeah.
Rosenblum was on my roast. I wish I would have had that joke for him. And so was Chris Rowe and so was Fat Chops. And I think that Fat Chops did a better job on this one than he did on mine, which offends me. And, but I think that Chris Rowe did a better job on mine than he did on this because he hates me, which is fine.
Oh, Chris Rowe hates you too?
I think Chris Rowe hates everybody to a degree.
Okay.
I think we have a friendly hatred where we're friends, but
Are you blocked on Facebook like me?
no,
Okay.
no, I'm not blocked.
He was on our show and he's blocked me on Facebook since, so it's fine.
Well, you are problematic, so
I'm just me. I can't be anything else.
that's fine. I'm problematic too.
All right, so that was just Friday, the roast, and then Saturday, hungover from the roast. But I did go see my good friend Mindy. Shout out to Mindy. She's recovering from surgery. And hopefully everything keeps going well. So I saw her on Saturday. Then Sunday, I did a shoot with Tribe of Assholes. Some of y'all may have seen my clip. And then I did a show in Orlando on Sunday night. I was the host, and that was a lot of fun. Shout out to CP Post. And anyway, so we gotta get CP on the show. We gotta get Patrick Puckett. Do you know him?
No.
He's been in the game for a while. He said Stacy Steele we've had, right? And Fiona.
Did we?
I don't know.
Mm.
Well, we gotta get
Well, it's
some.
been 2 years of this, so it's hard to keep
Wow,
track.
has it been 2 years?
Yeah. It's
We should
2022.
celebrate stuff like that. All right, but anyway, so yeah, that was my weekend.
Mm.
I'm ready to do some blaming. I don't know about y'all. How are y'all ready to go?
Sure.
Hey man, I'm here.
Jessica sounds so enthusiastic. Sure. All right, y'all. New Jersey is collecting infant DNA in a database that it will later use to catch criminals.
Fuck
Who's to
Yes.
blame?
fuck this. I mean, this is some 1984 shit.
Yeah,
Like, this is some real, like, Minority Report. We're gonna
it's so
put
wrong.
the clamp down on you. I don't, it's that old saying of, anybody willing to sacrifice freedom for security deserves neither,
Mm,
you know,
that-
like,
that was good.
don't take my DNA. There used to be a conspiracy theory that the only reason pennies were still in circulation was so they could collect DNA
Mhm.
off of them. Is a stupid theory. But this is basically the same fucking thing. Like, you're telling me that if I have a kid, when it's born, they're like, we're gonna take a little
And
sample
to
here.
tie that
No,
in,
fuck
they
that.
don't want you to, they want you to have all the babies now.
If
No
my-
more abortions. All
Well,
right,
that's not true. Kansas proved that wrong this past week.
let's,
But
I don't even, but Jess, what do you think here?
well, of course you don't know.
I, it's ridiculous. I don't understand why or how they can do that. Like, just kind of,
It seems unconstitutional.
it seems like you can't, like, why would you just take that? You can't just take baby's blood and, use it for whatever you feel like using it for.
Yeah,
Like,
you don't think it's innovative policing?
No, I think it's stealing.
It's illegal search and seizure is what it is.
Lazy policing.
If you own nothing else in this world, you own your blood and your bones and your flesh. So if they couldn't come into your house without permission or a warrant and look through your stuff, and
Yeah.
that's just stuff. How are you gonna look through my blood,
Yeah.
without my permission?
Yeah,
That's ridiculous.
they subpoenaed the blood from the hospitals,
Yeah.
and it's just baffling.
Well-
it's like it's total fascism. It's total fascism. This is what fascism looks like exactly.
That's not
Yeah,
fascism.
it is.
No, it's Big Brother gone awry. Just because you
fascism.
read it was fascism on that article doesn't
Oh,
mean
did
it's
the
fascism.
article even say
It did.
No,
yeah.
but when I read this was going on, it's fascism.
No,
it's,
they're not.
it's the state being in control of you.
But they're
It's
not
total
pushing. They're
fascism.
not
It's
pushing an
state
ideology.
being in the control of these new babies being born. Your DNA is only supposed to be collected for a crime if you have been charged with one.
Well,
And
it's not the it's not the subpoenaing of the blood that freaks me out. It's that word database. So they're basically
Yeah.
just building a reference point.
that's why you
to
shouldn't even be in
monitor
that database. I'm in the database like fingerprint wise, not blood, but from teaching, So sometimes you submit to going into the database and that's okay, but
I'm not,
this is not submitting to going into the database.
I'm not, I wouldn't give them my blood, my DNA, my
Yeah,
fingerprints.
Not
No.
DNA.
Why don't you just help the Illuminati build your robot replacement? Like,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's not,
But it's not
That-
fascism.
I don't know what it is.
It's Big Brother. It's just like
Terry has to control the definition.
I know what the definition is.
Terry, you're so controlling. Like, I feel like
They're not pushing a narrative. They're
You
not
would-
pushing an ideology.
you would make me like measure my skirt by putting my hands by my side, like they did in
Shit, that's her stupid segue to the next.
like they did in Alabama.
article.
Yeah. There
Did
was
an
a
Alabama.
reporter who had to deal with like grade school antics when they made her like see if her skirt was too short, and then they made her change, and then they also made her change her shoes. It was really crazy when she had worn the same thing there before. Who's to blame for this behavior going on in the professional world?
What professional world? She was in a prison. She's in the
She's
death.
a reporter. Is that not?
It doesn't
profession?
matter. You're in a prison.
She's still
Prisons-
working. She's
pri-
still out there.
Yeah, and cops are working, but they can't bring their guns inside the prison. There are rules. And they're usually meant for everyone's safety, including her own.
Mm,
I wanna
If
see
I
the
was a
outfit.
woman, I wouldn't want to walk down death row in a prison with guys who have nothing to lose,
mhm.
You know, and I'd dress in sweats, to be
Why
honest,
not give them a little taste on their way out?
because they might
Right,
take a
Jeff?
little taste of your shoulder if you get too close.
If the prison is secure enough, they won't. Jess, what do you think?
I think I want to see the outfit. I want to see what she wore.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
I mean, but I mean, she was going into a prison, so I mean, I know there's rules there for good reason, I would think, but you know, making her change and whatever, that just sounds like people trying to, you know, you know,
Embarrass her, like, and
Yeah.
they did it like in front of
Well,
everyone.
and to be honest, has anybody seen an execution here besides me?
Yes.
Okay,
No, I haven't.
They're
No,
very-
I'm just joking.
it's a
Thank God.
it is a very somber thing. It is very clinical, very depressing. And you know,
And we don't
it
want to
would
see
be-
legs.
no, honestly,
Like, what?
it depends on what you're wearing, but it could be defined as inappropriate for the situation. It's like, would you go
Why
to
is
would you
she-
go to a funeral with your tits hanging
Why
out?
is she responsible for your gaze?
What?
Why is she responsible for where your eyes gaze? Like,
A man is being murdered by the
okay,
state
why are you looking at her legs then and being like, she shouldn't be wearing that?
because
If a
there's
man's
a
being murdered by the state, there's something.
because
much more
there's an
going on.
instinctual
Okay.
response that cannot be avoided by men and women for that matter. Every woman I know looks at other women.
Yeah, I don't know. All I know is other reporters were like, she's very professional. It was sexist and egregious
Uh,
breach of professional conduct. Oh, I thought it wasn't a professional space.
here we go with the woke
You know?
shit.
Oh,
Hello, no worries.
I was afraid this might happen. I think they might be moving right now.
Huh?
I think they're moving.
Oh, okay,
Let's go blur.
that's fine.
Oh.
It should have been blur anyway. No, you can't go blur because again, one person. Don't do it. All right, it actually worked. Look at that
Okay, good.
for once.
Okay, so anyway,
Well,
Yeah.
no, it is a very somber thing. And you know, I don't know. I'm not saying I agree with what they did. I'm with Jessica. I'm saying, let me see the outfit. You know, let me see.
I'm sure it's not anything that's egregious because
Well-
if her colleagues are saying that this was sexist and unprofessional, why not stick with what they say? You know, like, and again,
I'm
she
not
had
just gonna trust
she
them.
had
They have an agenda.
she had worn it many times to the prison before, you know.
Yeah, but you're
so-
talking about other journalists, and other journalists knows what makes good articles.
Yeah,
So when you're asking for their opinion, you know, of course they're gonna juice it up a little bit.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Of course they're gonna make it a little more salacious, because salacious gets you column inches and salacious gets you TV time. So, I mean, everybody has an agenda, whether it be benevolent or otherwise, but everybody has an agenda. So you kind of have to think about it that way.
But I mean, what do you think about the open toe heels? They didn't go too far then?
Actually, that just might be a safety issue again, because you're in a prison. There are rules in prison. I used to have to go to the prison.
Personally,
I used to have to go to the prison with my father all the time because he had a prison ministry.
Mhm.
So he'd take me along with him, and there are provisions for everybody, especially me because I was a minor. So there's provisions for everything when it comes to safety. And it's, I blame lawyers. That's who I blame. I blame lawyers, because lawyers have ruined everything in this country, because the only thing that any institution thinks about is liability anymore. That's it. We don't care if you get killed, just don't get killed in here. You know what I mean? We don't care if you break your toe, just don't break your toe in here. We just don't want to get
No,
sued.
but I mean, just the lack of enforcement, and then the flip to like a hard enforcement is just weird. And then the fact that they attacked her on two issues, not just her skirt, but then her shoes too. But I will say, like, I personally don't wear open toe shoes to the office, but I don't work in the office anymore. Now I work in pajamas and house shoes, and it's nice, so.
Who wears open toed shoes to a prison? Ugh. I wouldn't wear open toed shoes on a subway.
Yeah.
You're gonna do it in a prison where there's blood and fecal matter and semen everywhere? No. Ugh.
What prisons have you been to? Maybe.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, you mean during the execution?
No, I
But
just
you're
mean
not like in the
general.
room. It's like a window. You're not in the room with the prisoner.
A prison is a kennel for humans, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
They don't just have
the
like
thing
shit
about it
in
is
the-
when you treat somebody like
I've been to a prison. I was a criminal justice
when you
major.
treat somebody like a
It wasn't like
animal,
that.
that's exactly what they act
Yeah,
like.
maybe behind not where the public's allowed. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been to a prison too, Terry. Not for an
Oh,
execution. but
okay. I'm just saying.
I
I've
was
been
a
to, I've
PJ
been to
major.
prison.
You've been to a prison?
Yeah.
Been
not
to
to
prison or
prison.
in prison?
Or you've been? Yeah, you were in prison.
I was a criminal justice major also. So I went to jail and like a high security Jessup prison, which is a really old prison. It's one of the first ones.
Was there fecal matter all over the place?
There's shit everywhere, Gio. Everywhere.
Sometimes if you get there on the wrong day.
All
Oh no, I mean I've read reports of female inmates smearing menstrual blood on the walls, and
yeah, but it's not like that when you walk in, Terry.
well, no, maybe it depends on what part she's in. Usually the if I'm not mistaken, the death row section is usually in the most secure part of the prison, which is why they separate them from general population as soon as they get their execution date, because they're like, nope, this person's too, now we've taken all their will to live, all their fear away. They have literally nothing to lose, cannot have them around other people.
Yeah.
And I think maybe that might be a reason. I wouldn't go to a gator farm with chicken in my pockets, because it's you're tempting fate.
And maybe her knee length skirt, or I don't know. In my mind, it's knee length was tempting fate, but
I don't know. If I could snatch up a lady in a short skirt after 10 years of never seeing a woman, I don't know. I don't know what animal lives in me that could be dangerous.
How is
like
the
that.
patriarchy not to blame here?
I wouldn't say the patriarchy.
It is still all the way, even to when you're like on your way out, like we've got to be like covering up for these guys,
Well, you're not
weird.
covering up you're covering up for safety.
Oh, you're not covering up for safety.
I wouldn't go to a prison as a woman. If I was a woman, I would not go to a prison dressed in anything other than head to toe sweats.
She wasn't there to see a prisoner. She was just there to watch the execution. I'm sure there's it was.
I don't know what that has to do with it.
Who they're trying to protect her from? It's the fucking employees. So it's like,
which is another good point. There's plenty of corrupt prison officers. That's been proven many times over. Some of those same officers are in the very prison where they used to work for smuggling contraband or taking violence out or raping female inmates, and because there is no consensual sex in prison. Even if they said, I consented, doesn't matter. You don't have consent. You're in prison.
All right, so you think that she's to blame, clearly, because you're a victim blamer.
I'm
and-
not. I think it was a dumb decision to
What,
wear.
and just, you're not willing to opine unless you know.
I don't know. I haven't seen
I
it.
said just.
See,
No.
see the outfit.
I said just.
No, I mean, obviously somebody just took their authority and, decided to, I feel like embarrass this girl or
Could
just
be.
try to influence her in some way. And that's why, they made her, this happen. I don't know.
It could be. I'm not saying that's that's not the case. I'm just saying, but just to dismiss it right out of hand as like this is just part of the patriarchy. I mean, that to me, that's just
I never even
whitewashing
said that,
a
but that,
subject.
like, the way
You just said it.
I did at the end of the
right.
discussion. I didn't say that at the beginning. Y'all didn't know who I was gonna blame. So
It just seems a little elementary to just go at it with your mind already made up and then go looking for evidence to support your conclusion that you made before you even knew.
thank you for that segue with elementary and the slight insult you just gave me.
I'm
With
not.
the mansplaining, but it's fine.
That's
Look,
mansplaining.
Look, I haven't told you in a while.
An
but, like,
opinion
chill.
An opinion is
But
mansplaining
chill.
now.
Okay, Terry. All right. So elementary school, high school, junior high school. There's a teacher shortage in America. Who's to blame? Why do y'all think we are losing teachers?
Because we don't pay them shit. That's why.
Yeah.
We don't
and they have
appreciate
too
them.
much
We don't pay them
responsibility.
shit. They have one of the worst jobs you can possibly have.
Let our guests get some in there. What'd you say, Jess?
Too much responsibility, not enough pay, all the things Terry just said. But it's they just don't get enough credit for what they really do, and they need to be paid better. Like, people aren't gonna.
Oh yeah.
It's
When-
impossible to keep somebody without paying them a certain amount of money. Like, you can't do it.
And not
And-
just that, like, think about COVID and
Yeah.
how we forced them like back into the classrooms, and then we fought about getting folks vaccinated, even though we were gonna have them stuck. We lost teachers that way too. Does politics play a part, guys?
Politics plays a part in everything now. It's that shit has permeated everything from religion to morality to.
But here with teachers in America.
Yeah. Let me tell you something. When you pay cops $20,000 more a year in starting salary than you pay teachers, you have just defined yourself as a society.
Yeah.
You're more. You would rather throw people in prison than educate them.
I can't disagree with that.
I mean, I worked at Taco Bell as an assistant manager for 4 months when I was 32, just a little branch job. I made $21,000 more than a starting teacher makes as an assistant manager
Damn.
at Taco Bell. So yeah, it might be more of a systemic problem than just this thing.
What do you think about the politics of it all, Jess?
I don't know. I can't. I'm sorry. I don't know.
I'll make a prediction too.
Okay.
I'll make a prediction. If the teachers, if the amount of public school teachers in this country continues to go down, they will not increase the benefits. They will not increase the pay.
Yeah.
What they will do is they'll lower the requirements to become a teacher.
Yeah.
So
Well,
instead
that's
of
what
having
they're
a
doing
teaching
there.
degree, they'll just say, oh, well, a 2-year degree.
Well, like,
and then they'll lower it to that.
I'm
Just,
glad you-
oh, a
Let me
high
get
school
in here.
diploma
I'm
is
glad
fine.
you brought that up. Ron DeSantis, for example, has done that because in Florida we have a huge teacher shortage, and they are offering teacher jobs to just people in the military and their spouses. What do you guys think about that?
Go ahead, because mine's going to be ugly.
We're gonna have some really unqualified teachers, but hopefully they're gonna be passionate about what they're doing and take
Yeah.
this opportunity and really, do something with it. Or it's gonna be a fucking mess, and like we're gonna be raising a generation of I don't know. It's going to be a scary, scary
Like the
situation.
math that these kids, the math and science, that they do, what is it gonna look like? You know, or are they gonna just be like little soldiers? You know,
Well,
is that what Ron DeSantis is doing? He's trying to raise little soldiers of the children. I don't know.
no, it's because people actually don't really give a shit about kids as much as they say they do. They don't care about kids as much as they say they do. Because if they did, they'd be out protesting in front of DeSantis's house and in front of the Capitol building or the state Capitol right now, saying, no, treat them better.
Yeah.
Do better when it comes to
Treat
education.
the current teachers.
But
we
they
have
they
better.
don't. They
They
could
don't in
give a
Florida.
shit. I've been saying this for
They
the
don't pay them
last
shit.
3 years. There has been
Don't
a
work here.
war. There's been a war on intellect and intelligence and education going on for about almost
another
10
thing.
years in this country, where it's on, you are looked at, it's almost with a snideness. If I came back and said, oh, I got a master's degree, what do you think? You're better than me? I don't know, you idiot. What are you talking about? Why are you getting so upset? You know, but that is the way it is right now.
But no,
It just,
it's even deeper than that. Like as a teacher, former teacher, I remember like people would they'd say, oh, if you can't do, teach. Like, what the fuck is that?
well, that's a very old saying. It goes back a long, long way.
But still, it's like, don't tell our current
It
teachers
means
that.
do something. It means
Yeah,
if you can't,
and then that's what they're trying to say. Like, it's so insulting to the teachers. Like, who wants to stay in that profession? Like, I was in that profession. Like, your administrators don't take care of
well,
you.
that does not talk
The
about
parents
teachers.
don't take care of you. The kids
Yeah.
kind of treat you like shit too. So it's not just like the treatment even by the politicians, it's just everyone. It's
Well-
crazy. We have disrespected our teachers for so long. I'm not surprised that a lot of them are leaving the workforce.
It's dentistry
agree.
without the fat paychecks is what it is. Nobody likes you. It's dentistry without the paychecks, because at least dentists, you know, make 6 figures. But you get all the same animosity, you get all the same hatred, you get all the same flack, and just none of the money. But no, we use kids as like a linchpin for arguments that we want to make. Oh, well, what about the children? What about the yeah, what about the children?
But not
You
when it
know what I
comes
mean?
to their education. We
No,
don't give
they'll
a
use
fuck.
it. They used it for racism.
Mhm.
In the early 20th century, they say, oh, we got to protect our kids. We got to protect our
They're
kids
using that as
from the dangerous Black community. And then in the 80s and 90s, I remember personally, they did it against homosexuals. They said, well, we got to protect our kids from these.
What are you talking
these-
about?
I'm getting to it.
Okay.
Good Lord, man.
We're on education and
Yeah, I understand.
Okay.
I'm just saying, we don't give a shit about kids as much as we say we do. Because if we did, we'd actually give a damn about their education and their future. But instead, what we all care about is whether or not critical race theory is being taught in schools, or what books they're reading. If they're reading any books at this point, you should be happy. I don't
Yeah.
care if they're reading Mein Kampf. All right.
No,
I'm
calm
just
down.
saying, it's an
Chill.
exaggeration example. I'm just saying, if a kid is reading a book on their own right now in this society, I'm all for it, man. I don't care if I agree with the politics of the literature.
Yeah, because no one's reading books anymore. They're just, I don't know. Do your kids read books?
No,
Do you wish that they would?
I do. I really do wish that they would. And I used to read to them up until a certain point, but now they can read and they read
Yeah.
in school. Like, I'm like, well, you can read.
Would you consider yourself more left leaning, more right leaning? You don't have to say.
To what? To politics?
Yeah, to anything. Yeah, to politics.
And you don't have to say
I'm a middle of the road. I don't affiliate with anything.
Okay. Well, say you took an extremist from either side. Say you caught one of your kids one day reading like Tucker Carlson's book. Would you be upset about that, or would you at least be like, well, they're reading? So, because that's what I would be. I'd be like, well, they're reading. You
I'd
know,
be
I
happy
don't
that
agree
they
with
were
what they're reading, but at least they're reading.
I mean, I'd be happy that they were reading, but I mean, I don't want them being influenced really by certain people.
Would you maybe like replace their book? You know,
I'd be like, oh, let's try
That's
this.
a great option.
replacement option. Speaking of, it's not a good option when it comes to food, guys. In
No.
Illinois, there was a woman. She's a contestant in a yearly spaghetti cook-off. 12 years, she was a contestant. And y'all know what she did? She put human balls in her spaghetti. Yep. And she
Yeah, she's arrested now. You know why? Because it's cannibalism.
it's cannibal. But why
And
was it
that's always
why
illegal.
was it the best spaghetti? Why was it the best spaghetti of the contest? Why were they going back for thirds? And the only reason she got discovered was because of the prosthetic testicle that was in the fucking spaghetti, y'all. And one of the judges had gone back for a third and he had a prosthetic testicle in his plate. So why do y'all think she did this? Like, I mean, people have said that human meat is really good, and not people.
What? Who you been talking to?
I watched too much TV. It was Atlanta, an episode of Atlanta.
Okay,
know if
that's
y'all
a
watch
fictional show.
No, but I believe that shit happens. That's why.
No,
I believe people are out
The
here.
clo-
I believe people are out here eating people. I
the
think they are.
closest thing that comes to cannibalism that happens in America, there is an offshoot of people, a very small group of people that believe in eating a woman's placenta after
Bitch,
after
Oh,
no,
my
I'm
after
sister
not-
just
labor.
did that.
You don't think rich?
No, they do.
You don't think rich people out here getting limbs to
No,
munch on?
no, I don't.
No.
I think some of this is loosely based on reality.
I
You know
think
what I'm saying?
you are a conspiracy theorist,
this-
and you
this-
need to talk on meat.
No, this woman fed balls as meatballs in her spaghetti. So
But
she-
why would you do that? What is the point?
because she realized the meat tasted better. She worked at a morgue. She had already experimented with cooking human flesh. And then she's like, I know I'm gonna win this. 13 years she was in this contest. And
You can't tell me that
It-
a
that-
human nut is gonna taste better than like a nice
I
piece
bet
of
those
veal.
I bet those judges, or I bet everybody in that town all hooked on human meat now.
Hooked. How do you say hooked? Like it's like what you're talking about is like Zombieland shit. Like you're talking like as soon as I ate some human
I
flesh.
told you I watched
And then I come out. No, it doesn't work like
I watched too many movies and
well,
TV
look at the
shows.
guys on that Argentinian soccer team that got their plane crashed up in the Andes,
Yeah.
and they were forced to eat some of the people who died
Yeah.
on the plane during the
I
crash.
remember.
Yeah, they made a whole thing about it.
A
There's
whole movie.
documentaries and
Yeah.
a motion picture and the whole bit. They didn't come down from those mountains after they got rescued and be like, oh man, I gotta have some more.
How do you know?
Because that would have made the documentary, I'm pretty sure. Like, that's ridiculous.
But that's my point. Like, they're not doing it out in the open. She wasn't like, here, have my human meatballs. She hit it and she won. And then I'm just saying.
She works in a morgue, so you already know she's weird, right? You just
Clearly.
know she's
Yeah.
weird.
Prosthetic ball.
Yeah, that's how she got
She
caught.
realized it was a prosthetic ball before she put it in there.
You know what you learn from this is remember, if you're gonna use human meat, you really gotta chop it up fine, you know? Because if you chopped it up fine, you'd been
Terry's
like,
a-
oh, look,
Terry's a chef, so
it'd be like, oh, look, it's a synthetic testicle. Whew, good thing I tried to chop it up.
I think the morgue needs to check their people because that's some sick shit.
That
she
is-
said
that
it-
is
the
absolutely
morgue's to blame. They
ridiculous.
should not have these people
There's
working
there's
for them.
going to be more to this story. I don't think that this is the end of
It's
this.
a small town, like
No.
what
I
you
don't-
think everybody's putting human meat in there and chilling.
I don't know what's going on, but this don't track.
Yeah.
There's something smells off about this, and it's not just the dead flesh.
Okay.
Mm.
All right. Well, that's it for the blaming for now. I want to welcome our guest formally, Jessica Smith. She's a new comic from Boynton Beach, a single mom of 2 and a dog and cat mom. Welcome,
Yeah.
Jessica.
Hello.
How's
I've
it
been
going?
good. I'm just tired. I have to go to work on Mondays. I have to go into the office. It's called Mandatory Monday. Isn't that some shit?
Yeah. So we'll talk about work in a little bit. I was just about to
Okay.
starting to ask you about work stuff. I want to talk about comedy first with you.
Yeah.
So you say you're a new comic. How long have you been doing comedy?
For about a year and a half,
Okay.
a little less. Yeah.
How did you get into it?
I took Ramon Garcia's class at the Improv, and Yes, and ever since, so like there's so much to do, and I just keep on doing it. So I
How did
just
you get out to the mics? Because that's how I met you. You were at the open mic when I met you.
yes. Well, I just kind of go when I don't have my kids.
Did
So
Ramon tell you about it, or how did you get out to your first open mic?
Brogues, when Brogues was first started, I went there, and then I started meeting people, and then I got to go to a whole bunch of different mics. It was pretty cool. But Brogues was my first open mic that I went to kind of all the time, and then I met so many people.
So, you've been doing it a year and a half. Have you been performing at venues ever? Or
Yeah. I love doing new faces, like, at the improv. I've done the Boca Black Box 2.0, the little place.
so what
Uh,
would you say is your favorite venue to perform at? And you cannot say,
The Improv.
oh man.
Everybody, it's too easy. Everybody would say the same thing.
Okay, well, I guess I like Black Box. That's a good venue. I've had some good sets there, but I really like Red Light. That's a good
yeah.
spot also.
I'll be there this Sunday.
Cool. I'll be there on the 21st.
There we go. Back to back,
There is
everybody.
time for that later, guys. Y'all,
Alright.
y'all got my outline. Stop. If you got questions about Jess right now, please ask her. But so you would say that Black Box or Red Light would be one of your top.
Yeah.
Yeah. What
Red Light's one of my favorite ones too. Not just because it's a great show, but you get a lap dance afterwards. That's awesome. That's what more can you ask?
do you get lap dances after you go there, Jess?
No, no.
Why not? It's a fluid situation now. My girlfriend
paying
comes
it
with me. We
fair.
get lap dances together. It's awesome.
I definitely got one on my birthday. No,
Yeah.
did I even get I don't think I got a lap dance that time. I feel like I've gotten a lap dance there after a show though. So anyway, what's been your favorite moment so far in doing comedy?
In doing comedy, I don't know. I was trying to think of this, but I have a lot of fun at open mics. I like, getting everybody stoned and having a good time, and doing things like that. I don't know if that would be like, a one time that this one time was so awesome.
Do you
But
have anything that like you look back and you're like, oh,
What would you say has been your proudest moment?
probably being at the improv, doing the improv. Dania, I did on my birthday, and that was probably one of my best shows. I feel like that was my favorite show I did. Well, it was the day before my birthday, and it was a good show. So I like that. I can't wait to get back there.
did you
Try
get a good
that out
video?
again. Yeah.
Which have you, so you've been at the Dania Improv, the Palm Beach Improv. Have you been to Miami yet?
No, no, I don't like driving. I got anxiety.
Oh yeah, we talked about that. You know what? I've never been to the Miami Improv either, and we should definitely go.
You might have picked the wrong thing then, if you don't like driving, because
Yeah.
there's a lot of driving.
Yeah, there is a lot of driving.
And I feel you on the anxiety. I never
freaks
used
me
to have,
out.
huh?
Miami freaks me out. I can't drive down there. It just is too much for me.
Well,
Maybe
it freaks me out too, but it's unavoidable. Like I hate the traffic. I hate driving down there, but
And it's like late sometimes. And me and Terry, we've had like a crazy, we were driving back from a show and like someone did a 360 on the highway and was like facing us and nobody got hit or anything. But I mean, just crazy shit could happen late at night while you're on your way back. And like,
might I suggest the Bright Line then, and just
yeah.
but the Bright Line don't go late enough. Not to go to Miami and do comedy.
I don't know. I'm not familiar.
You gotta go
I
down
need
and
a
like,
chauffeur.
you gotta get a hotel in Miami if you want to do all that.
I think
Get
we
the
all
Bright
need
Line.
a chauffeur for a multitude of reasons.
Yeah.
So, let's see, we got Jason in the house. He's asking some questions.
Oh, Jason's off of Facebook jail.
Yeah, welcome back, Jason. What's your favorite variety of marijuana plant?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh, sativa.
Okay. She said sativa.
Ugh.
If me and Terry were strains of weed, what would we be? These are fun, Jason. I like these. Who would
I
be the
don't
sativa
know.
and who would be the indica?
I think you're more the indica, Gio. Terry's the sativa.
Like I calm,
Couldn't be worse.
I calm people down, and Terry
I am very much
ramps them up.
I am very much
I
an
see
in,
that, I
I
see
have a weed card. I'm very much an indica guy.
maybe you smoke indica because you are a sativa.
Maybe
I don't
that's a good
smoke
point.
weed, so
That's a good.
I wouldn't
Ma-
know.
That's why that's the guys at the dispensaries. They're always trying to get me to try new stuff, and I'm like, dude, we're trying to bring this down, not up.
That's what we're
this
saying.
doesn't
You
need to
are-
go up.
You're the
It needs to come
sativa.
down.
You're the sativa.
Okay,
Okay.
I can
So
go with that.
just back to you. What are like the biggest challenges you found in comedy? And I know you said driving's one of them, but you can elaborate on that, or you can give us another challenge that you find.
Besides the vagina.
Oh, being a girl. Yeah, being a girl sucks. No, I think that having what's my biggest challenge? When you're performing the same thing over and over to the same people, sometimes that gets a little challenging. Like sometimes I don't like I've been I just feel like they've heard it all before and they don't want to hear it again. So why say it? And then I don't have new jokes to do. So yeah, that makes me nervous.
But
That's why I stopped going to a lot of mics, is because, if there's not a crowd there, there's no point in me being there. Like, because unless I have new material that I'm trying to work out, why would I talk to 15 comics on stage about shit on jokes they've already heard? Stories.
I hear what you're both saying. But like I think I write a lot. So like I am usually trying out new stuff, maybe a new tag here or there. It's not anything, or I'm trying out old stuff and trying to make it better. So I think you can just go there and even write while you're there and be like, what am I going to do? And then try to tweak something and make it better so that when you do have a show again, you're like, boom, boom, boom. And you can incorporate all this stuff. And that's how you do build, as you know, a lot of time.
Well, that's why I still keep going to mics.
Yeah.
Right. And if you have new shit to do, I understand. I get it then. But even then, going and performing for other comics, I mean, you're setting yourself up for failure. Like I've seen comics not laugh at a joke and that was brand new, not one of mine, but somebody else. And then I was at a show with them 2 days later. They gave it to a crowd and the crowd loved it.
Well,
so
they
are more or less discerning tastes. I think comics are the absolute worst audience for comedy.
But that's why you should go to mics that have audiences and you're not just performing.
Right. And I do show up to mics that have audiences. Yeah. It's just, if I go to a mic and it's all comics, then I just associate that as being a comic room,
Yeah. What's crazy, y'all, is when I was in Austin, I was trying to dip all over the place, and I went to one mic and it was in this like big space. And there was goat yoga in one room, and then there was a little small room, and it was full of male comics. And I was like, nope. I just went back to the other one, the Lucky Duck. That was a lot of fun. So, but anyway, Jessica, tell us about yourself. Like, what do you do? You were saying you were talking about work earlier. Where you from? Whatever you want to tell us about yourself. We know I brought up your kids. I didn't know if you wanted me to tell people about that, but tell us about yourself.
Well, I'm from Baltimore. I'm from Maryland. So that's how it is, hon. And we have.
Is that a saying from up there?
Yeah, hon.
That's how it is, hon. From Baltimore, Maryland?
Yeah.
I've been to that harbor up there.
It's fun. I just met a comic who came to the Coop, and he was from Maryland, and there's a little scene up there. I
Oh,
wanted to,
really? Did you
yeah.
do comedy while, I know
I
you
did
used to
not.
work.
I did not. I do have 2 kids, so that kind of takes up 99% of my time. And I have a dog and a cat, and I work 2
Seems like
jobs.
that would be the biggest challenge in comedy. Is
Yeah.
trying to juggle motherhood and stand
Yeah.
up.
Well, that definitely is hard to do. But when I I have a pretty good baby daddy, so he I'm not with him anymore, but he takes care of the kids. Like it's a good mix. So when I don't have the kids, then I can go to open mics. So
All right.
it's a balance,
I'm
and
mad just because Terry does not read my outlines and he just blew my
I
blame,
got
my blame game.
I got another one.
Okay,
oh,
you better have another one.
I do.
But do you do, so you do your day job, you do your children, Baltimore. All
yeah.
right, who do you got, Terry?
For a blame.
Yeah, for a blame game.
Well, I mean, that's not much of a blame, to be honest. You have kids and managed to hit mics. Who's to blame? That's
And
not
she
really
did,
a
she
blame.
just said her baby daddy's to blame. So thank
Yeah.
you. So you just blew my blame game.
What,
So
is he to
thank
blame?
you.
I don't think he's
Maybe
blame.
read the outline.
He's helpful.
And they're
Yeah,
getting
you just said
older. So they're getting older, and I can leave them. So sometimes I just leave them.
Okay. Okay. No, that makes sense.
That's fine.
I just leave
was-
my kids.
By the time I was 10, I was left alone. I was a
They
latchkey
know how to
kid.
feed themselves. They're
Yeah.
Yeah.
perfectly capable of, being little humans. They can do it.
And you seem like more of an old school kind of mom. How old are your kids?
They're 10 and 12.
10 and 12. So you're like, they can feed themselves. My mom was very much similar to that. I'm from the South, so it was always like, get them to a point where they can take care of themselves. So you're an old school style mom, not a hovering helicopter woke kind of parent. Who's to blame?
So let me just say this. I put this in here because I wanted to bring up, like, I had actually talked to a lady in Fort Walton. She's in Atlanta. Her name's Alicia Cooley. She runs her own mic and stuff now, but she was telling me how she did it while she had kids. And I was like, yo, I've noticed, like, men can do it while they have kids, but you don't see as many women mothers out here in these streets, as many women, but still a lot of the women out here, their kids are older, like, they don't have kids like myself. But when you have kids, it's got to be harder to do it, but it's still doable, clearly. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I kind of wanted to bring that up.
But she's right. I mean, you didn't let her answer the blame. Who's to blame for your traditional style parenting?
I don't know. I blame the kids. I mean, that's who I would blame, the kids. I don't know.
Kids?
Yeah.
Just too
I
much
blame
after a while.
everything on them. It's all their fault.
That's an honest answer. Because I remember the first thing I ever learned to make was ramen. And we didn't make it in the microwave because, not everybody had a microwave, to be honest. But yeah, just like ramen on the stove, I remember my mom taught me and my sister both how to make it. That way, when we were hungry, we could just feed ourselves. But that's also what, honestly gave me confidence when it came to cooking. And, it doesn't mean that's why I like cooking now, but it was definitely a foundation, I think, learning how to make your own food.
Yeah.
I think everybody should learn how to cook at least basic things,
What can your kids cook?
They cook everything. They're really good.
But
My
they don't
daughter,
burn the house down.
Yeah, no, but
they
what
can,
do they like to cook?
like, my son will make eggs. He can make eggs. My daughter, she's more of like a smoothie kind of girl. Like she's not getting too, too crazy in the kitchen. But my son likes to make different like pasta dishes and things like that. He's
Nice.
got a little TikTok. I think he had a TikTok or
Shut up,
something.
girl. That's so
Yeah,
cute. That's
that
so
was
cute.
the second thing I learned to make was butter noodles.
Butter
Just
noodles.
yeah, just cook some spaghetti, butter, garlic powder, salt, pepper. You done. That's it.
All right. So do you have any upcoming shows, promotions, social media? You
Uh,
want
I have red light on the 21st. I will be at the red light
to?
doing my thing.
That is 13
Not
days from now.
stripping this time.
Aren't you, when are you at the red light?
The 21st.
Oh, I'm the week after. It's like we're staggered. Like
Yeah.
you're this
14th, 21st,
I'm the
and
28th.
then you're the 28th.
That's so
cool.
funny. Are you gonna do this thing in Lake Worth this weekend?
What thing in Lake Worth?
Remember at Matthews, we told that girl we'd go to that showcase at
Oh yeah. I would definitely consider it, but I don't know. I
can't
feel
even
like
remember. I don't
I
even
think
know the name of the
kids
place. Promote it.
I think I have my kids this weekend, so that might we got to blame them again, Gio.
Okay.
Jason said, who makes ramen in the microwave? Savages. That's who. Fucking savages.
And
That's who.
kids.
No, not
College
kids. I made mine
student.
on the stove.
I made mine on the stove, but
Yeah.
some people make them on
That's
the,
because your kids are weak these days.
yeah.
Weak children.
All right. What's your social media in case anyone would like to find you on there?
Why in case?
Beach Jess 561 is my Instagram, and I don't know what Facebook is. I don't know how to do that.
Well, you're on it right now, live.
Oh,
So
You're not
well,
on Facebook, but
yeah.
on Instagram, they can find you there.
mhm.
All right. All right, that's it. We got Terry Wayne's words for white people. What you got for us this week, Terry?
I've been avoiding this. Been avoiding this for a while. We're going to talk about, and this is words for all people. This is words for all people this week. Mainly, this is words for conservatives and liberals. I want to talk about the snapback. And when I say the snapback, what I mean is every social or political change that ever happens in our country, at least historically, always springs back the other way. You have Obama, who is very wildly popular, very charismatic, very calm, cool, collected type political official. We had him for 8 years. And then you flip it around, you get a snapback, and then you get Trump. And then you get wild and this and that, and conspiracies and conspiracies and a scandal every day and this and that. And then what happened? We all got worn out on that. Now we go snapback. Now we got old man Joe, who's just in there and he's barely conscious at most times. Like he's just the most boring white bread Ned Flanders dude I've ever seen in my life. But I wanted to use that as an example to remember to tell people that yes, even though we have this extremely woke climate right now, and everybody's walking on pins and needles about everything, and has been for about the last 5 or 6 years, that's going to have a snapback too. And I know this because we had a big PC politically correct movement in the 90s when I was coming up, and that was when if I was called Geo a black woman, forget about it. They would freak out. She is an African American woman. And then eventually, the funny thing is, the snapback on that one didn't come from white people. It didn't come from liberals. It didn't come from the PC culture. It came from black people, because they're the ones that said, I'm not African. Stop calling me African American. I'm just black. It's fine. I'm black and I live in America. So to all the super progressives out there that continue to push one narrative after the other over and over and over again, trying to gain one more inch, that's going to be a snapback and you're not going to like it. And to all the conservatives out there who think like this is ruining this country and blah, 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 there's going to be a snapback and you will like it. Because that's how we gain an inch is we go 10 feet, we get knocked back 9 feet, and now we've gained a foot. And then we'll gain 10 feet, get knocked back 9 feet, and we gain another foot. That's the way it's happened in this society, in American society, literally since we've been founded, is we try to make a drastic change. It doesn't work. Half gets upset, half is excited. Then next thing you know, that gets knocked back 90%. And we keep moving forward like that. I remember when I got in trouble because I said that Caitlyn Jenner wasn't a hero. I didn't think she was a hero. I didn't think there was anything special about her transitioning. But everybody said, no, you can't. I think I dead named her.
She was a hero to some people, though.
Well, that may be true, but that doesn't make her Woman of the Year her first year out. You know what I'm saying? You've been a woman less than a year. You can't be Woman of the Year. That's all I'm saying is there's plenty of great people out there. You can't just celebrate the one that's in fashion right now. That's just my opinion. I don't think that should be forced on anybody else. I don't believe in fascism. That's just my opinion. I also think that if you're not allowed to dead name Caitlyn as Bruce Jenner, then I also think she should have to give back the gold medals because you know what I mean? Those don't belong to you.
Okay, quit doing the stereotype.
No, I'm just saying they don't belong to you. They belong to Bruce and you're not Bruce. So give them back. You know what I mean? I'm just saying it pushes one way and the other. That's my example is. That's the snapback principle.
All right. You have words for all people this week. All right, so I guess that's about it.
Yep.
You're at red light
this Sunday. Yep.
Just red light next Sunday. Me, you got to follow me. I don't know the name of the place I'm doing the showcase at because the flyer didn't have it, but and then
is it Saturday or Friday? Friday or Saturday?
I believe it's Saturday.
I might be able to go.
Okay, we'll stay in touch about it. And then yeah, I'm not like anywhere till like towards the end of the month. I'm at red light. I can't remember.
Yeah, so come out Sunday night for jokes, or if you want to see a normal, healthy, straight couple get a lap dance together.
Jason, you should come see Terry. I'll be there, and they'll probably let me go up on the open mic.
If Jason Pellis shows up at red light, I will buy him a lap dance.
You hear that, Jason?
Yeah.
We love you. All right. All right. Just hang in there 1 second. All right. Until next time, guys.
Deuces.